Oftentimes in construction, we want to make sure that what we're building is a right angle. So, for example, if we're building a door frame or building a wall, we want to make sure that we have lots of right angles, that things are perpendicular and standing upright. One of the tests we're going to do that construction workers actually do is they use the Pythagorean theorem to see if what they're building is indeed a right triangle or forming right angles. They're going to test to see if the thing they're building is square or not. So in this example, we want to see if this door frame is square. And the test that they do, if they don't have a way to measure the angle directly, is they'll measure three sides or three segments. In this case, the door frame we're taking a look at has a height of 72 inches, so let's label that over here, and a width of 21 inches. They're also going to go ahead and measure the diagonal, which is just a line, a segment connecting corner to corner, and they measure that to be 75. Now, we don't know if this is a right triangle or not. If we look at that, half the triangle that's formed, but what we can do is, if it is right, I'll put a question mark there. We want to see if the Pythagorean theorem does work out. If it does, we know we've got a right triangle, so we're going to test the Pythagorean theorem. My two legs, if it is right, they'd be legs, I suppose, would be the 72 and the 21. The hypotenuse, if it is right, it would be hypotenuse, would be that 75, the biggest side. So let me set up a little Pythagorean theorem equation, I guess, right here. I've got 21 squared plus 72 squared, and then that needs to be equal to, so I don't know if it is, I'm going to put a little question mark above it, that's got to be equal to 75 squared if that is indeed a right triangle. So let's go ahead and square these numbers and see what ends up happening. 21 squared, if you want to work that out, is 441. 72 squared gets me 5184. And again, I'll put an equal sign with a question mark because I don't know if this is going to work out. That's what I'm testing. And 75 squared gets me 5625. Doing some simple addition, if I look at my notes, these are going to add up to 5625 on the left and 5625 on the right. And so I asked myself, are those the same number? And yes, of course, they are the same number. So this checks out, meaning that yes, this is a right triangle. What we did build was square. If it worked out to be different numbers on both sides, then what we built was not square. We'd have to nudge it right or left and remeasure and see if it does work out. But yes, this is going to be a right angle. We do have right triangles. And this is what construction workers actually do when they're building things to make sure they do have right angles.